Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Meaningful Marketer Podcast. I'm Mia, and this is Grace, and we have cozy marketing chats every week, all about how we can make marketing more bite sized and doable, and how we can lean into impactful simplicity and show up consistently. And yeah, be intentional about the things we're showing up for. So we continue showing up and we actually make an impact because we get like just a little bit better every single day rather
Right.
than just trying to go into full toxic hustle culture and do it all at once.
And if you find yourself in the new year with some social media goals for yourself, you're not alone. A lot of people are looking to level up their business this year and they have no idea where to start with social media and they're overwhelmed. So if you found yourself here, you found a good couple of business besties who are here to make the process painless for you because it actually can be painless, bite sized, and effective. You may have been lied to on trending social media reels and heard that, it has to be complex and you have to be putting all this time into it for it to
Yeah.
work. But we're here to make your lives easier and give you some bite sized tidbits that can really change the game for you.
Yeah, and you're in for the perfect episode because we're talking about our own experience,
Yep.
how it's hard to show up on socials because we're a professional. That's what we do is we run people's social media and other marketing, but our specialty is social media and email. And we slack off on our social media because we're always so worried about everyone else. And while our situation is a little different where we're worrying about clients all the time, so our social media gets neglected, it's still a very similar story with a lot of business owners because there's so many other things that need done. And posting on your social media is the most cost efficient way to market your business, but it is the thing that can be put on the back burner
Yep.
over and over and over again, just so you can keep all the other things running. And it's very much the same for our story. Our story just happens to be that the other things we're keeping running are multiple other social media accounts for
Yeah.
businesses. So we are in the social media world all the time, just not for ourselves because we put ourselves on the back burner. But 2026 is the year that we decided we're going to start treating ourselves as a true client, as one of our clients, and we are going to practice what we preach on our own page and really walk the talk. So we're sharing today the bite-sized things that we're going to be doing every week to get consistent on our own socials and to grow that area because we want to get out there more so we can share knowledge and encouragement and education with more of you cool small business owners. And in order to do that and in order to achieve our dreams of helping more small businesses, we have to get out there and be consistent too. Before we get into the whole what we're doing, I just want to say a little mindset thing here for you because this is kind of what we had to do. You do have to be ready though to prioritize, you or in a lot of people's cases, prioritize the things that are going to get you to your goals. So if you are, not to that point where you're ready yet, it's going to happen. Light bulbs are going to come on for everyone at different times. If you are at that point where you're just like, I'm ready. I'm going to put my business first. And I know that this is a skill that I need to be consistent at in order to do that. So if you are ready to do it, let's dive in and let's
Yeah.
do it. Okay. And if you're not there yet, I just want to say, have grace with yourself, practice gratitude where you're at right now, and maybe shift your focus to your mindset and your mental health for a minute and how you are taking care of yourself and see where that gets you in you being ready to take on this stuff that is in your heart, these goals that you have, your passion, putting your business first and showing up on socials. Because I know for me personally, and I think for Grace too, we kind of had to go through some of those other things first before we
Yeah.
really got to a point that we could and that we were ready to do what we're doing now. And it's great because we've been able to help so many clients simplify things and show up consistently and everything, but it just is different when it's your business. So maybe you're someone like us and you help other small businesses or you have clients and you're like, why is this so easy to do XYZ and teach other people how to do it? But when it comes to me, it's so hard to show up for me, in whatever that looks like. And there just is so many more emotions when it's showing up for you. When it is teaching someone else, you don't have the emotions that are tied to their story.
Yeah.
You were able to just look at it logically without all the emotions and just go, these are the steps you need to take and, use your professional knowledge on that. When it's you, no matter how much of a
Different ballgame.
professional you are, you have to deal with all of the emotions. And
Yeah.
so if you're not prepared to deal with those, it is difficult. So, anyways, I just want to say one, make sure before you really dive in, like evaluate, am I really ready? Like, am I to the point where I'm fed up and I'm ready? And if you're not and you feel that hesitation, maybe have grace with yourself and shift your focus to mental health,
Yeah.
mindset, where you're at in taking care of yourself. And then once you get yourself to a good place and you are living in a mindset of gratefulness, then reevaluate, and it might be a little easier to take on these bite-sized steps.
That's good advice.
So, whenever we started looking at the things that we want to do, the things that would be a good routine for someone who is just personally managing their own socials. We obviously have a great system for clients. That works out great. But like, what if somebody is just managing their own and they don't have
Yep.
somebody else to lean on for that? And so that is what we have really leaned into for us and for what we want to share knowledge with y'all on, is because
Mhm.
a lot of you are in that case where you don't have somebody who can manage it for you, who has a system in place for that. So we're having to create a system for ourselves, right? When we first started looking at this, I looked at the parts of my life because I did take the time to get some things in my life, doing well. I looked at my mindset, started to operate from a place of joy and gratefulness a lot more, and really worked on myself for a period of time and still working on myself plenty. I started to be able to look at what are the things in my life that I have now been able to be consistent with. What
Mhm.
are the wins I've had in my life so far, and evaluate those things. So for me, I started over the past like 3 months now, I've been able to be really consistent with a workout. And before that, it was like I was able to become really consistent with walking every day. And so I was like, well, if I can take what helped me be consistent in those areas and I can bring that into
There you go.
our social media, then maybe I can crack the code and make it to where for us personally, we can show up more consistently.
Yep.
And so that is what we're doing. And we have it broken down into bite-sized steps that you can almost look at as kind of like a social media workout is what
Yeah.
we're
I
doing.
love that analogy. Yeah.
We're going to talk about all this more and other things we have coming up, but like how you can customize this to you and everything. This is what we're doing though. So we're doing Monday through Friday, and we're going to have like a warm up, a main set, and a cool down is what we're going to have for our social media. And so what I'm going to have is timers for each of those, because I noticed that I work really well on timers. And a lot of the workouts that I've been doing, it's not based on like how many sets you do. Like I'm not going 1, 2, and it's more based on, okay, here's a timer. However much you can do during this time, that is what you get done.
That's
And
enough. Yeah.
you can kind of like control your difficulty, right? Because I could push myself and do more reps, or
Mhm.
I could up the weight that I'm using, because a lot of the workouts I do are with dumbbells. And so I can kind of control that difficulty level, but I know that for this amount of time, I'm doing each thing. So I was like, okay, well, that should be pretty helpful, I think, in
Mhm.
this area too. Kind of the same for a walk. Like when I do a walk, I just kind of made it to where it was like, okay, I'm going to commit to 30 minutes a day. I'm
Yeah.
walking 30 minutes a day, twice a day. It's like, I think I can do that. That sounds pretty simple. Honestly, I feel like if I can't do that, this isn't for everyone. For me, in my life, I was like, if I can't make 30 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes in the evening work, I'm just being pathetic, because in my life, I definitely can make that work. Not
Yeah.
everyone maybe can,
Yeah.
but in mine, it was totally doable. And so anyways, the timers really seem to help. What I'm doing for a warm up is we're going to be doing engaging. Engaging is really important. Sorry guys, you cannot grow a really great social media account if you are just ghosting everyone and you're not
Without talking to
engaging.
people.
And a lot
Yeah.
of you, you're not thinking, oh, I don't want to talk to people. It's
Yeah.
just you get busy and you don't. But would it be better if you just set yourself a timer for
There you
5 minutes, 10 minutes, and however much engaging you can do in that time, you do, rather than just, oh, I can't get to all of it, so I'm not going to do
Yeah.
any of it?
Some is better than none for sure.
Yes.
You're missing out on these opportunities for organic connection with people in your comments. A lot of times people make it really easy and they're commenting, they're already weighing in on your content or leaving a question or an anecdote or something. And just responding to that can really make a difference in growing your
Yeah.
page.
And give you so many ideas. What keeps us held back so often is trying the perfection thing, which we've talked about, right? And
Yeah.
so that's what was holding me back a lot with like walking, exercising, all these things is, oh, I don't feel like it today. So I'm not going to give my best in a workout today because I just don't feel as good. And what I started doing is like my only job, all else aside, my only job for this workout right now in the season I am in is to show up for this amount of time. What I do in that time, I'll give it my best. Some days my best is going to look better than others, but I'm going to learn along the way. There's so many exercises that when I first started doing them, I was real off, y'all. Even watching the person, I ended up looking at myself doing them and I was like, this looks nothing like what the person's doing, even though I felt like it looked like what the
Yeah,
person's doing.
exactly. That's always how it is.
And then I did them right. And I'm like, oh, this actually works a lot better on my legs or, my arms or whatever it was. And it's the same with socials. I think like if you can just make your job, set yourself these timers and just make your job showing up during that time. You don't have to know how to make the perfect post, how to edit it
Exactly.
great, all these things. Like your only job is to show up for this amount of time every day. And that is going to make it feel so much more doable. Because guess what? Some days you are not going to feel like showing up. And that is what is going to keep you. That perfection thing is going to keep you from being consistent. And
From doing
consistent
anything at
is
all.
going to be the thing that makes you great at it. It's not going to be knowing all the hacks. It's
Yeah.
not going to be you being ready. It is going to be you being consistent. And I heard something the other day about how consistency is not about discipline, it's about flexibility. So
Ooh.
think about it more as you are learning how to be flexible because you are never going to be ready. Life is never going to be less busy. So you learning to be consistent is you learning to be really good at adapting to
That's a
life
great
and what is going on.
point.
And that is also like, again, with the bite size thing, if you make what you're doing small and bite size and actually doable and like not this crazy thing, then you are going to be able to be flexible with it and
Yeah.
adapt to it.
Well, and back to your exercise analogy, like this is muscle that you're building, right? Like
Mhm.
this is not go in, hard and fast and run a 10K your first day, like exercising in the new year. This
Mhm.
is like building that muscle. And as you build it, then you'll be able to build more on it, right? But this is
Mhm.
about like maintaining kind of that social media muscle, if you think about it that way. And so, yeah, small, consistent steps are what is ultimately going to be the most sustainable. Again, we can speak from experience because we know that if we don't make these things easy and attainable, we're not going to do them. We're not ever going to
Yeah.
feel like doing them. So, Mia's advice of like, okay, we're going to warm up, we're going to do a few sets, and we're going to cool down, like that is attainable for everybody. And you can adjust that to your current schedule, to your goals, whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to look the same for everybody, but the consistency is what's going to build that muscle and what's going to
Yeah.
ultimately get you into shape.
Yeah. And like Grace said, it doesn't have to look the same. Like I have my warm up for my engaging 10 minutes.
Yep.
So I've got a little habit tracker app. And so when I hit that habit tracker, it's going to start the timer. It's going to show me how many days I've been consistent in this, which I've learned is really fun for me. I always
Yeah.
wondered why people really like that. But I actually, when you start actually doing something, you enjoy it. I guess it's when you're not
Yeah.
doing it, you're like, oh, I hate this because
Well, it's
you don't get the
motivating.
enjoyment of it.
It's motivating, especially if you're like a competitive person, like
Yeah.
to have that streak and not break the streak, then
Yes.
you basically turn it into a game for yourself. And then that's like, okay, I have to do this today.
Yes. And so, yeah, like that could be 5 minutes for you, though. It could be customized to you. And so, once we do our warm up, what I have is a main set. And so, what that's going to be is what kind of muscle, kind of like how throughout the week when you're working on exercise, you might work on legs or you might work on arms or abs or whatever, or you might do full body, like whatever it is. But so, I'm going to pick a muscle to work out that day. So, that might be content creation or that might be editing the content. It might be outlining everything and taking my ideas and putting them, in the thing. Whatever that is, it's going to be this. It's going to have a main set of social media muscle I'm working on that day. And again, like I'll have certain days. So maybe Monday and Friday might be the main set is content creation. And then maybe like Tuesday and Thursday, the main set might be editing the content
Yeah.
or something like that. Like whatever works. I'm still kind of playing with what's going to be best for us, but that's going to be the thing. And so for me, I'm putting 30 minutes on that. So I know, again, kind of like with walking, I know I can at least dedicate between 30 minutes to an hour a day to our socials. It's just going to take a little bit of intention on my part and being realistic with that. It might only be an hour a day that I can dedicate. Just like with working out, I used to try and do hour-long workouts. That's not doable for me. So what got me going consistently is I started trying to do 13-minute workouts. And now I'm up to where I can do about 20 to 25 minutes. I don't know that I'll ever be more than 30 minutes because just life is busy, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So again, customize that timer to what is doable for you because spending a little bit of time is still better than nothing. I would recommend for these main sets, at least give it 15 to 30 minutes. Like
Yep.
try and do that. If you're being real with yourself, you can do that. You just have to make it a priority. And then I'm going to have us do a cool down. And the cool down is going to be a couple other things that I think are really important for socials. And so we are going to have on some days, the cool down is going to be listening or market research. And so that is going to be going and seeing what are other people talking about in our niche? Is our community saying? What are other accounts like ours
Yep.
doing that's working? And just gathering ideas and like things that people are talking
Inspiration.
about, questions they have, and recording that somewhere. So we have it. And some days that is going to look like writing down ideas. So just giving 10 minutes to go scroll through, save ideas to our inspiration folder or spreadsheet, whatever that
Yep.
is. But like, it's just going to be gathering new ideas so I don't run out of new ideas for us. These are incorporating all the things that we've talked about and taught you are important parts of social media. What we're doing now for ourselves is taking this into, okay, how can we turn this into just like a little system that makes it feel like this is a little workout we're doing weekly, like a little workout plan. So we don't have to think about it. We just have to show up and stick to the plan. And we don't have to spend a lot of time planning, beforehand and like dedicate a 3-hour block on Sunday to plan everything. We just know that this is what this is going to look like. Now, we'll probably rearrange some of this. We might up or down the time some, but those are the things that we're taking, those important things that we know grow you on social media from what we've done with clients. But we're taking that and like, okay, how, when you don't have someone to run your social media and spend deeper amounts of time doing those things, how can you just do those things yourself and put that on like as much of an autopilot kind of feel as possible and work out those social media muscles? Now, the other thing, which you can watch some of our other videos on this, but just getting a posting system in place. So you know what types of
Yep.
posts you are posting each day. We use something called the 5 S's. And so that is what structures what we know we are sharing about each
Yeah.
day, each week. And that is going to make sure we have a rounded posting schedule that covers all the things we need to. So think about like so many people ask us, when do I post about my product? How often can I post about my product versus like doing these other things or behind the scenes? And those 5 S's for us, that is what keeps us in alignment with, okay, this is how much we're posting about our product. This is how much we're just posting relatable content that's going to make connections with people that doesn't sell anything at all. And so the last thing in incorporating these steps is getting a posting system. So then you also don't have to think about what posts go up each day, because then you can create a playbook for yourself that every Thursday, that's a behind the scenes post. And you have it set up in a way where it's well balanced and you're
Yeah.
hitting all the things you need to in order to make those connections and post about the things that are actually important to post about on social media, because we're in 2026, freshly in 2026. I'm sorry, y'all, but posting pictures of your product for everything is just not working anymore. And that's why so many people are having a really hard time. And it doesn't have to be hard things that you have to post, but we do have to go a little deeper than that, because social media is a platform for connection. In the grand scheme of things, it's not really a selling platform. We use it as a tool to sell, but that is not the purpose of social
That's a
media.
great point. A lot of people don't think about that.
Yeah. And so that's why when we're using it as a platform to sell our stuff, we're almost using it
Yeah.
like a website. It doesn't always work like that. It can be
Yeah.
a great tool for traffic and stuff, but it is a social platform if you want to do it really well. And so that is what we are doing to get consistent in 2026. And stay tuned, because if you want more on this, like if you watch this and you go, that resonated with me, I feel like this is the road I need to be on, this is what's going to make me consistent, stay tuned, because we're taking everything that we have learned and
Yep.
are learning. And this year, there is going to be a class called the Social Media Makeover Class. And we are going to have it where it is just taking you step by step
Yep.
from those posting, those content cornerstones, that, posting system, to this bite-sized system of showing up and how to create yourself a schedule that you can be consistent in and doesn't feel overwhelming where you dread showing up for it, but you can really work those muscles in a doable way and overall get better at social media and grow your business. Stay tuned for that. You can get on the wait list now and you can get 40% off when it launches.
Yeah.
So
Yay.
excited
Because
about
if there's
that.
one thing about us, we don't gatekeep. Okay. We want to provide you with the tools that we actually use for ourselves and for our clients that we've seen success with. We have a heart for you small businesses. We are one. We've worked for several. We know what it's like out there on the streets. So we
Yeah.
want to provide these tools to you affordably. So definitely sign up for the email list.
Yep. Keep an eye out for that. Also sign up for the email list, because you get a free training post template every week to help you too. And stay tuned on here, because we post a new episode every Friday and we
Yep.
have chats like this that will hopefully help you where you're at grow your business, get a better mindset and mental health so you're not, running a business you
Right.
hate and you feel
Yes.
horrible in and all of those things. So thanks so much for listening. Let us know if there's anything that you want to hear next, and we will talk to you soon.
Bye,
Bye,
y'all.
y'all.